It's too hot to be in the garden, but we have no time to be idle. So this afternoon I am in the kitchen canning potatoes. This great big pot is filled with red potatoes that have been peeled and cubed into about 1-inch chunks. I also have a pot of water coming to a boil that I'm going to use to fill my cans, because I'm not going to fill the cans with the starchy water that cooks out of the potatoes. I'm going to boil those potatoes. I'm going to parboil them. They're going to boil for about 10 minutes. That's not going to fully cook them, but it's going to get them to a point where they will fully cook inside the can. Notice I specified red potatoes. You can see the difference in these cans. These look beautiful. These look more like potatoes than potatoes. So nobody wants a potato salad. So I'm going to throw those away. I only kept them to show as an example, but I was really confident canning potatoes, and then this spring I tried to can some that are more for storing, like large russet potatoes that store well, and I had no idea what went wrong. I asked my pretty sweet cousin Sarah, who's also our pretty sweet local extension agent, what I did wrong to turn these into potatoes, and she said you can't can all potatoes and expect them to look pretty. Now, they're both perfectly safe to eat, but the brown ones are just not appetizing. So those have got to go, and I'm not going to can any more like that, obviously. So I'm sticking with red potatoes or thin-skinned potatoes. Thin-skinned potatoes like you would think of as new potatoes, more waxy potatoes, not very starchy. The starchy potatoes don't look pretty after you can them. So stick with those that have the really thin skin, like the skin that you could peel off with your fingernail. I have loaded up 5 cans in my pressure canner. And this one is the digital all-electric pressure canner that I just got this year. I love it so much. It makes canning so easy. You can actually walk away and not listen to the jingle. So I'm going to be using that a lot. So I've got 5 quart cans in there sterilizing while my potatoes parboil and my water comes up to temp. Okay, so I've filled 4 cans. My canner that I'm using only holds 5 quart jars, the ones that have like the square kind of shape. That's the only thing that's inconvenient about it, but it's still worth it to me because I can walk away. In each jar I have put 1 teaspoon of sea salt. You must not use regular iodized salt in canning. You can use sea salt, you can use canning salt, you can use kosher salt. Iodine is not your friend when canning. It'll turn your canned goods mushy and discolor them. So this is a warm job, as you can see. I'm using a slotted spoon, and I am packing potatoes into each of these jars. Now these potatoes have been parboiled, like I said, for about 10 minutes. I'm using a slotted spoon. Oh no, Gunner, don't get it. It's too hot for you. I'm using a slotted spoon because, like I said, I don't want the starchy water. It'll make my potato water cloudy in my cans, and that's just ugly, and it's not what we want. So I'm using fresh water to fill these jars. I am tapping them down so that they will allow for 1 inch of head space. Okay, so I'm going to use my clean, fresh, boiling hot water. Okay, we want everything hot when we start it into the canner. I'm going to cover these all the way up. The water is what's going to carry the heat so that we can trust that enough heat has gone all the way through these jars to kill any bacteria like botulism. Botulism is not our friend. Okay, after I've filled these with water, I'm going to take a clean paper towel. I'm going to get any water or any kind of chunks of potatoes off the top of these, and then I'm going to put my seals and my lids. I'm going to tighten them finger tight. I used to think the tighter the better when I was younger, but then I learned finger tight is the way to go because they really do need to be able to give up some pressure and take in some pressure to seal properly. So don't just like crank down on them or you're less likely to get a good seal. Here's the final product. These are ready for the shelves as soon as the seals pop. And I use these for a lot of different things. Potato salad is my favorite because potato salad is a summer staple, but you don't want all that steamy hot water boiling potatoes in your hot summer kitchen. So I hope you enjoy this video. I hope you have the confidence to try canning some vegetables, pressure canning some things, and use those techniques to preserve the things you grow in your garden or buy from other farmers.